Alright, this is a CB installation that I did. For those of you that still use CBs, I know that around here oh, it seems like we're getting back into them and putting them back into all our vehicles. A great kit to put in your Metro so you don't have a big deck mounted to your dash or whatnot is this Cobra 75 WXT. The unit, the entire CB is inside here, and then it has a remote box that is, maybe I should have pulled that out already. Got your power, your ground, antenna, and then your mic plugs in there, and it's very simple to install. I'm going to show you how I did it, and I looked at a lot of different ways to do it. Let me get some light down here. I took this kick panel out. Let me back up here. This kick panel comes out real easy. Up in this area up here where I've got the light shining, there's a thumb screw. Then you pull out the push pin right there. This light might be a little too bright for this. And I mounted it right there. I had some speaker wires and stuff down here too. And then I traveled through the engine compartment through. This car doesn't have air conditioning, so I used the grommet. And I ran the antenna and power and ground cable, and I went directly to the battery with a fuse and the ground. And it mounts on that panel right there. I can pull that panel out and it'll pull back, and then I can just unplug everything. Works very, very well. And then I took, and the computer on this particular car is right here, but I just zip tied the cord for the mic across down there. And then I came up and I put my microphone hanger right there. I don't think we need that light for that anymore. And then, you know what, let me step back here. Got my keys in the trunk. And I'll show you how I got away with blocking the fan control switch here, because they're so terrible. I take them out. Let's see here. There we go. So on eBay you can buy these. I think they sell them for. I think they're labeled as like aquarium temperature controls or brewery temperature controls. You can buy them at 110 volts, 12 volts. This is the 12 volt model. Basically, it's got a super accurate thermostat on it, and with a remote probe. So what I did is I installed that, and then I ran the probe up in the dash. So basically what I did is I took the fan switch out. I just pulled this console out. I took the fan switch and ran the power from the high-speed plug down to the relay and back to the fan motor, and with some, I think like 18-inch jumper wires I built, so it just plugs right into where the fan switch was. And then I just left the fan switch back there so I could put it back if I ever wanted, which I would never because this works so well. And then I was able to just take my mic holder, and I just screwed it right into the plastic right there. It didn't. You've got your probe, and this is the probe. I just stuck it out through the AC button. If you have air conditioning, this unit does AC too, so you can hook it to your heat and AC. And the way you would do the heat if you had air conditioning, because it's controlling the fan, is you'd put an inline water control valve, electric water control valve. And there's numerous ones on eBay, and they're inexpensive. But you just put it on the heater hose line, so when it switches to the AC, it would shut the heater control valve off. And then, yeah, that's basically it. And so then this fits right up there, and it works really, really well. I don't have the antenna on it because I'm in the garage, but this is a great CB. It's got scan, memory, it's got weather. It's not going to pick anything up because I have the antenna off. And that part of it, it just looks really clean. You know, it reminds me of the old Cadillacs that had the CBs built into them. you know, it looks appropriate and like it's supposed to be there. Then what I did, let me step to the outside of the car. When I traveled through the, let me grab my flashlight one more time. Oh, obviously I'm not prepared apparently. Let's see. So, there's your AC grommets that are right down there. And I traveled right through there. And if you look in your car, you'll see what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter if they're early or late model, they have that. And then I just took the wire, that red and black wire together, and I just brought them over and made the connection with the battery. I also have a driving light, which I'll do a video on later, that's connected directly. Then I brought the antenna up here into the wiper arm, and I pulled out the valance here over the top of the wiper transmission. And then I pulled the trim out on the car, on the window. If you pull this trim out, and then they use double back tape, and they tape in clips to snap this in. I just pulled them off. You just grab them with a pair of needle nose and pull on them. You can heat them up with a heat gun too, and they probably peel out easier. It's just as easy. It'll allow you to run about 3 coaxial cables in here. I actually have just the ground, or the power wire to my light, and then the coax cable to the antenna. And then I just glue this back down. I just use Right Stuff. I put a bead along the glass and then just set this in place and put some tape over it to hold it overnight. And comes up. And then on this, I have an antenna holder, which is just another antenna bracket. But I'm using a 4-foot fire stick, and I'm using a spring-loaded detachable. It's just, you know, let me do that again. And lets me detach the antenna. And then, I just have, this is actually a bushing out of a strut, the bump stop in a Geo Metro strut. And I just zip tied it up here just to give it a place for the antenna to hold. And the reason for that is when I pull into this garage, the antenna would hit on the roof. And I just came back and I mounted it over there. So I just pop that off, and then it'll spring lock onto that quick disconnect onto the antenna mount there. Puts it up in the center, in the middle, in the best place. And the SWR is not the best so far on this particular setup, but it works fine for the little bit that we do when we're just driving around together. And obviously it receives really well, being up as high as it can. And it's a CB. It is what it is. And this is just, I got it in the video now. This is my hot water shower. I'll do a video on that too. But yeah, that's basically it. I've just come over. I'm using what do they call it? A fire wire, I think is what it is. I used instead of the cable having it's like a 259 PL connector where it screws on the bottom like you know, like regular antenna coax. This one just goes out 90 degrees. It works really well on this roof rack because the cable wouldn't screw on being mounted in that position. But that pretty much is a really clean install on a Metro, and this will work on an early or a late model. And yeah, that's just what I did. And if you're interested in putting a CB in your rig and you don't want to put a big dash unit screwed to the dash or underneath where you can't reach it, or sideways on the side, I've seen all kinds of little goofy things people have done. This is the, I'll hit it again here. This is the Cobra 75 WXT, and runs about, I think I bought it on eBay. I got it for like 93 bucks with shipping. Antenna, for the life of me, I cannot remember. I think it was $30 or $40. I use the Fire Stick. I really like that brand. And I bought the Fire Stick 18-foot cable. And then I actually trimmed it down because I ended up with, I couldn't go with a 9-foot and I couldn't go with an 18. So I think what we did is we cut it down to 12 feet. I can't remember if that's good or bad, but it didn't change the SWR rating at all, so I wasn't too worried about it. But we were getting a really high SWR rating when we tried to loop the coax cable up, and then I ran it in the engine compartment all the way down the front of the car and back and through, trying to. Anyhow, I just cut it so it fit perfectly, and that seemed to lower my SWR rating down to about 2.25. Ideally, we'd like to be down at 1.5, but anything under 3 will work pretty good for you. And that's pretty much it. And then if you're, like I said, on the you can go back to the beginning, and the controller for that. And this is a really simple thing to set the temperature on. All you have to do on the, because just for a fan, it's got a lot of different options, but just for the fan part, you just push set, and then you just set the temperature to whatever you want. It's pretty warm out today, so, but the fan just turns right on and off. It's really nice. You just turn it down if you don't want the fan to run, and it's a hot day out, so no reason to let it run. And that's my CB and my thermostat control for the heater fan.